What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to take you through two quality issues that I'm facing currently with recent modifications I did to my 1986 Porsche 911 sitting up on the lift behind me. If you're in the market for aftermarket seats, or if you're in the market for a new exhaust system for your 3.2, you're going to want to watch this video for more information on what it's like to work with manufacturers to get things repaired under warranty. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you one of the biggest mistakes I see guys make when they are making changes to their air-cooled Porsches. So if you're considering modifying, you're going to want to stick around to the end of the video. Let us now just jump into it. All right, as I said to you, I'm just dealing with a couple challenges here involving this 86. The first one is having to do with the driver's seat here. It's a Recaro Expert. I've really enjoyed these seats. Love the seating position, the fabric, the comfort. I've done at least a couple of long weekends in them, so I cannot complain about kind of the ergonomics and the design. But unfortunately, I did have a failure going on with this seat. So inside of this seat, this piece right here, let me see if I can get it, has broken off. And I believe the purpose of that piece is to connect this bolster adjustment with that adjustment over here to keep the two bolsters equidistant from one another when you adjust them. Well, now this side is operating independently from this side, which I could totally live with, like whatever. It's not worth taking the seat out of the car to deal with that. But now, unfortunately, there's like something is shifting around in here, maybe back here when I'm driving the car, especially when I'm like ripping curves and so forth. This is loosened up as well. And so these things happen. I totally get it. There are quality issues with any product, and so I don't really begrudge Recaro for that, but I am a little bit irritated with how they want to handle getting this right. And so, you know, step one, obviously I got to pull the seat out of the car. That's a bit of a hassle. I'll get into that in a moment. I'm not super mechanically inclined. I don't really love doing this kind of work. But what they want me to do is take this seat out, ship it back to them, allow them to repair it, and then they're going to ship it back to me. So, you know, they sent me this box with the RMA numbers down on the bottom, right? So I think those are shipping labels that I'm supposed to stick in the box after I put the seat back in there. So, you know, I guess I've got to say, hey, thanks for the box, although I do still have the box that I bought the seats with. Anyway, nice of them to send me the box. That arrived today. Now I'm in the process of removing the seats. I've started with the passenger seat. It's pretty straightforward. I have already worked 4 bolts out of the back. So each slider bolts to the floor with 2 in the rear and 1 in the front. And so I've started to work on this. The tool that I had, the only hex key I had, was too long to fit under there, so I had to run to Home Depot to get this. And now I will, you know, start to remove these. And so, again, you know, this channel is not about me bitching and moaning about things going wrong. You know, I love these cars. I love living with them. I love using them. And again, I love these seats, but definitely kind of a bummer that I'm having to deal with this. And I really would have just preferred them send me a new seat and I could send this back. The story goes that they're no longer making these seats in this fabric, so they don't have any sitting around that they can send me. So, you know, the dealer that I've been working with down in Miami has been fantastic. They've been, you know, definitely going to bat for me, and this is, I think, the best that we can do. So I'll get the seats out, and I'll pick you back up after that's done. All right, I got the passenger seat out. I mean, pretty straightforward. I figured while I have this all apart, I'd just show you guys how they mount up. So you've got the factory floor mount here. You've got these little brass pieces that the bolts screw into back here. I don't know exactly how the seat sliders like actually mate. You know, you got a number of different holes. They're gonna sit over 2 of them, but basically in the rear you'll have, oh man, where's another one? Here you go. I have 2 bolts, and then up front you'll have 1. So very straightforward. The real pain with these seats comes into, and this is really odd, but attaching these sliders to the bottom of the seat. Let me just see here. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through all this, but at least with the Sportsters in my 993, I had to actually drive another hole in the bottom of the bracket to make it work. Actually, I'm lying to you. Here's what it is. You've got to oblongate, great word, the hole to get it to line up with the factory floor mount. So this isn't an installation video. Just know this is what it looks like out of the car. So let me get the driver's seat out. Then maybe I can show you what's broken with it a little bit more clearly. All right, here is a little video with the seats out of the car. I thought I'd just kind of take a few minutes to clean this up while they're out. Here's the driver's seat. And this, shoot, that piece there has gotten stripped out so it no longer connects there. And I guess what's moving around behind me, I think partially this bolster is moving, but then this, that long plastic piece there is moving around in the back of the seat. So I need to do a little bit further investigation. The seat belts. So this is the passenger seat. I'd like to put that on the driver's side and maybe swap the seat belt receptacle from this side to this side. If I can't do that, then I probably won't. I'll put the seat in just so I can move the car around, but I doubt I'll take it on the road. All right, got it back in. It was actually less painful putting it back in than was taking it out. I was able to easily swap the seatbelt receptacle. So this is my reality and my 86, I guess, from now until, look at this, she's hiding. From now until whenever I get this back. So now that I'm done bitching about this, I'll bitch about the next thing to you. The second issue that has come up in the past month or so relative to a modification that I've done to this 86 has to do with this exhaust setup. So I wanted to make the exhaust note on this 86 911 rowdier, more hot rod-ish, and I just really wanted to change. I've been running stock for a little while, and stock is great, but I wanted to do this. So ended up coming up with the idea of putting some Bursch headers on it, as well as a Dansk Muffler that I sourced from Patrick Motorsports. And unfortunately, as you'll see here, the paint has begun to peel already on this muffler. So I don't know, I bet there's like 200 miles of driving on this muffler. And look, it's a muffler. It's gonna get dirty, as you can see here. It is under the car, so you can't really see it unless you have a lift like I do and you put it up there and you just happen to see it. So, you know, I want to kind of give a disclaimer, like I'm not trying to be picky and this is not a huge deal, but it's just a little bit of an irritant, right? Because like this wasn't cheap and you just feel like you don't want to see this happen as soon as you buy it. So we did reach out to Patrick Motorsports and they were like, hey, you know, tough cookies. And I'm like, okay, well, no big deal. But, you know, just something for you to think about if you're buying a painted muffler. You know, I don't really know what happened here. Myself and my mechanic were talking about it. Maybe they didn't treat the muffler before they applied the paint, but whatever, just another issue. So between the seat and the muffler, it seems like it's a little bit of a season of relative challenge here. So on the front end of the video, I told you that I'd share with you one of the biggest mistakes I see guys make when they're modifying their air-cooled Porsches, and here it is. Guys tend to buy maybe their first air-cooled 911 and they just really get excited about modding their cars, right? So they're gonna, like, you know, attack the interior or wrap the car or, you know, do something else that they've seen guys online doing. And the mistake there is, you know, just jumping too quickly without really thinking through what the vision for the car is. And, you know, the reason I know that this is a mistake is that I've done that. I am somebody who gets really, really excited about whatever is new to me. And when it comes to these cars too, they have really consumed me in my life. So I have fallen into that trap and I have leapt before I looked. And thankfully I've learned from those mistakes and I have my cars where I want them. But, you know, just be careful. If you're a newer owner, you know, slow down, find yourself somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to putting together these cars, and, you know, listen to them, because voices of experience are definitely helpful. So I hope you've gotten something out of this video, and I hope to see you next time.